Avalon Waterways and river cruising, everything you need to know. Stay tuned. Guest today is Anne-Marie Gaudet, co-owner of Cruise Holiday Select. Anne-Marie has been specializing in ocean and cruise vacations for her satisfied guests in Ontario, New Brunswick, and across Canada since 1995. An avid traveler herself, Anne-Marie has escorted 100-plus cruises to almost every destination in the world. Hi, Anne-Marie. Welcome back to RTE Travel Talk.
Hi, thanks for inviting me back.
Great to have you with us, Anne-Marie. So, what's on my mind this morning, Anne-Marie, is we get a lot of questions about Avalon Waterway, especially the people that are kind of thinking to go river cruising for the first time. I was wondering today if you could fill us in a little bit about Avalon Waterways. Have you cruised with them, and what folks can expect?
Absolutely. I have cruised with them. I love them. They're one of my favorite cruise lines. So ask away because I can answer questions and just share my knowledge.
Super, super. So, where exactly does Avalon Waterway sail, Anne-Marie?
They sail in Europe, they sail Galapagos, they sail Asia. Pretty well wherever there's a river, they can sail. I think most popular, obviously, is Europe, all the
Right.
rivers that are in Europe. But they have a lot of different destinations that they do go to.
Now, when you're thinking about Avalon for your guests, is it one of your, would it be Avalon Waterways be in one of your top 3 or 4 choices?
Absolutely, absolutely. If not number one, number two. They're one of my favorites. They really are.
So, how do the ships compare in size to other river cruise lines?
I mean, the ships in Europe, especially, pretty well have to be the same, close to the same size because of the
Right,
locks. So they can
right.
only be so long and so wide, give or take a little bit. But so they're comparable to all the others. I just find with Avalon, the way they have redesigned their cabin layout
Okay.
makes the cabins appear larger, and the washrooms are larger because of the redesign. The other thing I love about them because of the redesign is your bed is facing the window and the whole wall is a window. Now I'm talking about their French Parisian balconies. When you're sailing, say you don't want to be up top or you don't want to be, in the lounge with other people. You just kind of want to have a mellow, time to yourself, and you're in your cabin, like the whole window. So and then it opens up, and you can sit there and look out on your balcony and just watch the world go by. And so, like I said, the redesign, the way they did it was excellent. It was genius as far as I'm
Wow, wow.
concerned.
They have a term for that. I think it's panoramic staterooms, isn't it?
Yes, panoramic. Yeah, panoramic suites. They call them suite ships, and they
Okay.
are the panoramic suite cabin that they have now. And because of the way they've angled the beds, the washroom is larger. So you have a lot more room when you're getting ready, when you're getting showered and getting ready. It makes a lot more room. So it works perfectly.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
So they've really put a lot of thought into the design of the
they
ships.
have. Yes, they have for sure.
Now, speaking of staterooms, do they have, in this day and age, we have a lot more people wanting to solo travel. Do they have some solo staterooms on stateroom for solo travelers?
They do not, but
Hmm.
that being said, they several times a year they do have promotions where it's waive the single supplement. And
Okay.
so you're getting a double room, but you're only paying for the single.
For the benefit of our viewers and listeners, explain single supplement. What exactly is a single supplement?
Okay, so when the cruise lines, and this is for the big ocean liners too,
Okay.
when the cruise lines are looking at a cabin, they're looking at a cabin price,
Right.
and then they price it out based on first and second person.
Right.
So say they want $1,000 for that cabin.
Right.
They want $1,000 whether it's one person or two people in that cabin. So
Okay.
so the single supplement is basically if you're traveling alone and they're not
Right.
waiving the single supplement, then you're paying that whole $1,000 instead of just the $500. I hope that explains a little better.
Right. So you're paying for 2 people,
Yeah.
even though you're only going as one.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's why I would expect them when you see some of these promotions that they waive the single supplement or they will do a reduced, like a percentage.
Yes.
So you could like have maybe a 25% single supplement, which
Yes.
means
Exactly.
you'd only pay for yourself and a quarter of the next person.
Exactly.
If, for example, we're traveling with family and there's two or three people going, do they have such a thing as adjoining staterooms?
No, no,
No.
they don't. They're side by side. We can, if
Right.
we book early enough, we can get them side by side. But no, there's no
There's no
adjoining.
such thing as a door in between.
No, no, no,
Okay.
not on the river.
So, and what about children, Emery? Is Avalon a good choice if you wanted to bring the children, kids along, or kids on a river cruise in general a good idea?
That was it, where I was going to go. Generally speaking, I mean, although once again, Europe, but even like Asia, anywhere they go, it's a great learning experience. But
Mm-hmm.
truly, and I have seen kids on a river cruise, but very little. I wouldn't say that it is a product that is for little kids, especially very young kids. There is a lot of history to be seen, but these ships are not built for families. So there's
Right.
not a lot for the kids to do when you're not out exploring, unless they're really interested in history or seeing the sights. It's not really a product for them. So like I said, I have seen kids. It's not that they're not allowed, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it was a product for families.
So, Anne Marie, when we're comparing Avalon Waterways to some of the other river cruise lines in Europe, for example, in terms of what they offer, what's included with an Avalon Waterways river cruise?
Well, with Avalon, and with most river cruise lines, beer and wine is included with lunch and dinner. But they have also started having a pre-dinner happy hour where drinks are included.
Mm-hmm.
I must admit, like even to buy your drinks on board, though, they're not expensive. The river cruise lines do not make their revenue from based on what they sell at the bar. So, and the river cruise, Avalon does not mind. They know, like when you're in the south of France, I mean, you're in wine region. Of course, you want to bring back wine. So they know they have no problems with you bringing back wine. They just ask that you don't bring it to the dining room or bring it to the lounge. But people worry about their bar bill when they're getting off. Honestly, when we were at the south of France, my husband and I think our bar bill was like maybe €80. Like it's not a lot. One of the things I love about Avalon is their shore excursions. They are unique. For instance, being Canadian and
Right.
being of British background, when we did the beaches of Normandy, a lot of the other river cruise lines take you to the beaches, but they're the American beaches. And there's nothing wrong with
Of
that. We
course.
love them.
Yep.
But being
Yep.
Canadian, being British, we want to see where our people went. And Avalon takes you to the Canadian beaches and the British beaches and the British and Canadian cemeteries. So it's things like that that are really interesting that they have those kind of shore excursions. When we were in the south of France, my nieces went to a truffle farm, and the things they learned, they only use female dogs because female dogs listen better. Like it's just so interesting and things that you would never know, right? So that's what I really love about Avalon. They do have a lot more included shore excursions. There's always some that are a little extra if it's something extra that you are interested in, like the truffle farm was,
Right.
an extra fee, but it was well worth it. And I've told you the story before of when
Yeah.
I did the Christmas markets and we went to Salzburg and they took us to where Silent Night was written, and then they took us to the church where it was first sung. And I mean, experiences like that they're priceless. And that's what I love about Avalon. They have those kind of experiences.
So tell me, the excursions. They're all included in the fare.
Most of them are. There are some that are extra. You're not going to miss out if you don't take the extra ones unless it's something that you really, really want to do.
So how many excursions per port would be available?
Wow. Totally depends on the
Well, roughly.
port, but
Yeah,
I would
roughly.
say three, four, maybe five. They
Right.
also do have different levels. So it's the same shore excursion, but they have a gentle walkers, they have a regular walkers, and they have a fast walkers. So within the tours, they still have the different levels. If you're not a great walker, the gentle walkers is for you. So that's another thing that's really good, because in Europe, there's cobblestones, there's
Yep.
uneven pavement. So if you're not the greatest walker, gentle walker, you see the same stuff, you just take more
A more
a
leisurely
better pace,
pace.
a slower pace. Yes.
You talked about gentle walkers and a fast pace and that sort of thing. Is river cruising good for people that may be mobility challenged?
Yes and no. It depends on the level of the mobility challenge. The
Right.
river cruises, Avalon does have elevators, but the elevators only go from like the restaurant level up to the top level where the cabins are. Sometimes when you're rafting, which means that the boats are tied side by side, so you have to go through another boat. Sometimes you have to actually walk up to the top deck and then walk across and then walk down. And if you're walking on another boat that doesn't have an elevator, there's a lot of stairs. So
Right.
it really depends on your ability, your level that you are able to walk stairs. Same with cobblestones. If you just have a walker, I that's good. So it totally depends, on the itinerary and your mobility level.
So
Yeah,
so what it amounts to is a conversation with your river cruise travel advisor prior to
exactly,
going. Yeah.
exactly.
What
Yeah.
about tips and gratuities, Anne Marie? Are they included with Avalon?
They are not, however, you can prepay them, and it is something that I always recommend. Now, tips for the tour guides are not included and they cannot be prepaid. That is
Mm-hmm.
something that is totally up to you. These tour guides are amazing. So, a euro or two or €5, that's your call, dependent on how great you thought the tour guide was.
So these would be the tour guides, like if you get off the ship for an excursion.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
They have local tour guides that come and do the excursions for you.
Right.
They're wonderful. I've not had a bad tour guide yet.
Right.
They're usually university students
Yeah.
or somebody that's lived there for a long, long time. And the information they give you is just,
Right.
you can't read it in a book.
Exactly. And you and I both know quality of your guide can really make or break your experience.
Absolutely. Yes, it
Yeah.
can.
So we talked about that drinks are included at certain times of the day. There's a bar and an evening happy hour where drinks are included. So you're not going to have a large bar bill. What about evening entertainment, Anne-Marie? Is there much entertainment on board Avalon Waterways?
Well, they always have a piano player, and
Right.
usually they're pretty good too. And
Right.
then at certain times, they bring on local talent. My husband and I were on a river cruise one time, and they brought on a couple that did cowbells. Sounds real hokey, but it was really entertaining. It really was.
Right.
But it's not going to be the big Broadway style shows that are on the big ships. But I love the entertainment on the smaller ships because, they'll bring on singers and local singers and local talent, and it's really good. So it's
And
really
that
entertaining.
yeah, that's part and parcel of immersing you in the culture of where you are.
Exactly.
So Deb and I have become really big fans of traveling carry-on. If we wanted to travel a carry-on, doing a river cruise in Europe, for example, is there laundry service on board?
There's not a laundry room, but there is laundry service. I have used the laundry services on board, and they are wonderful. They
Right.
really, so they do have them. Not the do it yourself, but they will do it for you.
So in terms of packing, what should one pack for a river cruise?
Comfortable shoes. Because once again, you're walking on
Right.
uneven ground, and you're doing, sometimes you're doing a fair bit of walking.
Right.
So definitely comfortable shoes are a number one. And then it's casual. So like even at dinner, you're not dressing up. You don't, it's comfortable, casual. They prefer not to have jeans at dinner, but I'm noticing more and more people are wearing jeans at dinner. But it's not dressing up. It's not bringing, your gown and your tux and things like that. It's just be comfortable. And then, like I said, dress for the weather. If you're going on a Christmas markets, of course you want layers to keep you
Right.
warm. But if you're going in the middle of July, which is usually hot, then shorts and a t-shirt work.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I always like to pack is a bathing suit. Do Avalon have pools on their ships?
They either have pools or they have a hot tub.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we went swimming in the Danube one year,
Oh,
because
really?
yes, yes, it was amazing. Just a little area in front of where our boat was. They had a little beach area, and yeah, we all went swimming there, and it was amazing. I got to swim in the Danube.
Oh, fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. Now, one of the things I hear from our younger viewers and listeners is, you know what? I'm not going on a river cruise because it's nothing but old fogies like you can. So or can we put that myth to the sword today? Or
It's not all fogies. My daughter
mm-hmm,
and I, who is 30, well, she's
right.
31 now, but she came with me when we did the Rhine in November. She loved it. So the medium age is between like 40 and 70. So
Well,
it
that's
all
not old.
depends
Yeah.
on what you're like. Like Ashley was quite comfortable being with older people. And like I said, there did happen to be one girl that was her age there. But generally speaking, it is a median age of 40 to 70. Yeah.
But 40 to 70, that's not bad.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So I'm fairly active, trying to keep my waistline at a certain certain level. Is there a way to stay fit while you're on board? Do they have programs for that?
They do.
Or
They do. They first of all, they do have an exercise room, like an exercise bike and treadmill.
okay,
So they definitely do have things where you can stay healthy and active. And of course, just traveling around, walking around, you're getting
right.
exercise even doing your walking. But yes, there definitely is a wellness person. Sorry, that's what they're called on board. That, like I said, they have what they do, yoga, stretches, and things like that. Yeah.
So, Amory, if we were to line up 3 or 4 of your favorite cruise lines that you recommend for guests,
Mhm.
um, in terms of cost, where does Avalon rank in cost? Are they lower end, mid range, or high end?
They tend to be lower to mid range. Once
Okay,
again, it depends when you're booking. Like river cruising has become so popular. Like Christmas markets for 2023 are almost sold out already.
right.
So the earlier you book, the better the promotions you're going to get. But I find Avalon usually has some really good deals, free air, or like I said, waive the single supplement. So I find their pricing to be very, very good.
Yeah. So, in terms of lining them all up, they be in the lower to mid range scale, but
Yeah.
still with a lot of great amenities.
Exactly. So lower to mid range in price, but
Yeah.
not in service and amenities for sure.
Right. You've sailed them several times. What do you consider their most outstanding quality for your clients?
So the staff are outstanding. They become like family. They cannot do enough for you. They really cannot. So I would say, and their shore excursions. Whoever puts together their shore excursions does a great job. They really do.
Anne-Marie, this is absolutely super information. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Avalon Waterways before we wrap up?
Like I said, with river cruising, it has become so popular. The earlier you look, the better.
Right.
I have people looking in for 2025 already. So, it give me a call earlier rather than later.
On that point, if folks wanted to get hold of you about an Avalon river cruise or another river cruise around the world, what's the best way to get hold of you?
Probably go to my website, which is
Mm-hmm.
love2cruise.ca. I think you're probably going to put it up there.
Yeah.
LUV2CRUZ.ca. And my phone numbers, email, they're all there. That's probably the best way to get in touch with me. I also have promotions up there at the time. So if you wanted to take a look to see if something piqued your interest, that's probably the best way.
Sure,
But
I'll leave those links in the description for people that want to reach out to you.
perfect.
So I always like to ask, where are you off to next?
I'm actually flying out on Friday. Today's Wednesday, so I'm flying out on Friday. I'm flying down to Fort Lauderdale. I have
Right.
3 days in the sun, hopefully sun and warmth, and then I'm getting on Celebrity Silhouette. I'm escorting 44 people on a 10-night Caribbean. So I'm really looking forward to getting into the warmth and sun.
As a fellow snowbird, it's time to get out of Dodge up here to,
Yeah,
to beat this weather,
yeah,
right?
that's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure.
All right. Well, that's absolutely great, Anne Marie. We'll have to have you back in the future to discuss how you got along in the Caribbean. You up for that?
Oh, sure, anytime,
All
anytime.
right. Super. All right. With that, I'm just going to wish you safe and happy travels. May the wind always be at your back. And I hope to see you on a Lido deck real soon.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Take care. And that about wraps it up for today, folks. A very special thanks to my guest, Anne-Marie Gaudet of Cruise Holidays Select. If you'd like to reach Anne-Marie, I will leave her contact information in the description. If you'd like to reach us, simply send a question to questions@realtravelexperts.com, visit our website, realtravelexperts.com, or simply leave a message. We always respond. And as always, folks, if you enjoy this content, a like, subscribe, and a ring of the bell is certainly appreciated and helps us to spread the word. So until next time, happy travels!